Whether or not advocacy is a part of a doula's role has been a source of controversy within the doula profession. Historically, many doula programs have trained that it is never the doula's role to advocate for the client, but rather to empower them to self-advocate. In contrast to this, when I consult with equity-seeking clients and ask what they are looking for in a doula, advocacy is usually at the top of their list. Many of my clients and prospective clients are Black, like me, and they are seeking advocacy about concerns stemming from the Black maternal health crisis. People have many opinions and beliefs about what advocacy is and what it accomplishes. Some people see it as speaking for someone who can't speak for themselves. Some feel it is similar to activism and involves protesting things you think are wrong. Many people see advocacy as confrontational. One of the reasons that people have so many different opinions about what advocacy is that it can occur in many different ways in different aspects of society. Advocacy can occur at a systemic level where people call for changes to an institution, law, or policy. An example could be a group of doulas in a community petitioning their local hospital to stop the routine administration of antibiotic eye ointment to newborns. Or building relationships with extended health insurance providers to encourage more of them to fund doula services. Another type of advocacy is self-advocacy. Most of us have had to engage in self-advocacy at one time or another. This could be as simple as explaining to a teacher why you need an extension on an assignment, or something more complex, like taking a landlord who isn't fulfilling their responsibilities to the landlord-tenant tribunal. Our clients might have to self-advocate by providing evidence-based information to a provider in support of their preference for TOLAC, trial of labor after a cesarean, waiting for spontaneous labor until 42 weeks, or not supplementing with formula while in hospital. A significant part of a doula's prenatal work is supporting this self-advocacy by ensuring that the client is well-informed, prepared for appointments, has access to credible, current information, and can brainstorm the risks and benefits of their options with a knowledgeable, unbiased, empathetic person. Supporting self-advocacy can also extend to assisting with system navigation. For example, clients who are newcomers or refugees may need assistance with understanding the emergency housing system and how to access subsidized childcare. Individual advocacy is the form of advocacy that has created the most controversy and misunderstanding among doulas. However, it is an integral aspect of our work. Some of our associations with individual advocacy are based on widely publicized campaigns. This happens when a person, group, or organization advocates for a specific outcome for an individual. This type of advocacy makes it into the news when the person is high profile, like a political prisoner such as Nelson Mandela, or a celebrity, such as the #FreeBritney campaign. Since large-scale public demonstrations are often part of this type of advocacy, it is part of how the line between advocacy and activism becomes blurred and contributes to a perception that advocacy is confrontational. While this type of activism is often necessary and beneficial, it does not reflect how doulas enact individual advocacy for our clients. During labor and delivery is the most likely scenario in which doulas will engage in individual advocacy. Doulas engage in a form of individual advocacy anytime we take action to uphold our clients' birth plans and support their right to informed consent. Doulas are talented at finding ways to use their voices to amplify the client's voice while enhancing harmony rather than contributing to conflict. In a 2020 paper by SSEM, she describes the doula's approach to advocacy as soft advocacy. Based on qualitative interviews with 19 doulas in the US, she identified 3 ways in which doulas enact individual advocacy: creating deliberative space, cultural and knowledge brokering, and physical touch and spatial maneuvers. Creating deliberative space refers to strategies that give the client more time to ask questions and make decisions, especially concerning interventions that differ from their prenatal intentions. For example, saying to the client, "Can we clarify how much time you have to make this decision?" Or, "What will happen if we stick with the plan to get to 5 centimeters before using an epidural?" Cultural and knowledge brokering refers to the tactics doulas use to make sure the client understands medical jargon or cultural norms. These tactics leverage the doula's in-depth knowledge of perinatal care and the medical system to translate and share knowledge with the client. This can involve paying close attention to the information provided by the medical team, observing how well this is understood by the client, and repeating the information in language that the client uses and understands. For example, the doctor or midwife is holding an AROM hook. That is used for breaking your water. Physical touch and spatial maneuvering refer to the ways we use our bodies in physical contact with the client to advocate for their needs. Examples include using our bodies to conceal the client from view, modeling consent by asking permission each time we touch the client, and using our presence to back up the client during interactions. Often, our presence alone can change the tone of the clinical interaction. From the policy research on advocacy we conducted in 2022, we developed some excellent resources to support our members' understanding of advocacy and decision-making when working with clients. You can find the Advocacy Framework and Advocacy Toolkit in the Members' Resources section of your account. Please feel free to reach out to your mentorship team if you have any questions about how to enact advocacy in your doula practice.